It's been 10 years working at a place you love. Your coworkers and patients are a dream to be with. But there's just one thing that isn't sitting well. The office you work with pays about $5 to $10 less per hour than the surrounding offices. And asking for a raise feels like, well, pulling teeth. On this episode of RDH Coast to Coast, Tina and Kim discuss this listener-based question of, is it worth the effort to continually ask for a raise? So friends, grab your headphones and listen in as Tina and Kim share some advice for our listener who wants to know, should I stay or should I go?
Hello, Tina, again. How are you?
Hi, Kim. I'm good. I'm excited to hear what you're going to throw at me today.
Yes, so we're doing a little reverse. I also got a question, and I'm curious your take on it and what you would recommend or say, but I'll kind of paraphrase it. This person has been at their office for over 10 years. They basically opened the practice. They love their coworkers, they love their equipment, they love their patients, but they feel underpaid for the area. If they leave, they could easily make $5 to $10 more an hour. Any new hygienists that come on board are still only making what that hygienist is making, so they're not making more. She's asked for raises in the past, but feel like she shouldn't have to go every couple of years and threaten to leave in order to get a raise. Should she stay, or is it time for her to part ways? What would you say?
That's like right. This feels like a very Dear Abby. Should I
does.
stay or is it time to part ways? Well, I think when it comes to that, we as individuals have to take a deep dive into what is going to fulfill our hearts. And it sounds like the underlying current is this hygienist really loves everything about being there, but does not feel appreciated. Mm-hmm. And that oftentimes we reflect appreciation for our work with the dollar amount that we make. And I think that's a very valid way to feel appreciated for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially when you hear that the office that you're working at is significantly lower than everywhere else. My question back to her would be, what type of evidence has she brought forward to the practice, to the payroll decision makers on what the pay should be? Has the office raised their prices?
Right. That's exactly
as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. And I think the evidence portion, right? We can all walk in and say, I deserve more money. Mm-hmm. I think you have more ground to stand on if you come in with numbers. This is what I produce. This is what we're bringing in after collections. This is what I should be paid. And then the other thing too is the grass isn't always greener somewhere else. You love your coworkers. You might not have that everywhere. I think that's a really big factor in finding a new job, is you just don't know what it's going to look like when you get there and what that relationship is with the team. So I think there's so many pieces that go in. And I think before saying it's time to go, that you sit down and you really have that heart-to-heart conversation with the doctor. And it might be hard, but again, not just walking in and saying, hey, I can go down the street and make $5 more an hour, without doing a deep dive into more of the financial situation on your side.
Yeah. And I think it's really like what you said about the hard facts data, be very objective, right? Clear, defined. It's very black and white. Take the emotion out of it. Like these are the procedures. This is what, at the end of the day, this is how much has been produced. And, I think we've heard it so many times that the general kind of golden rule is about 33% of your daily production should be about how much you make per day. Mm-hmm. And the other thing we have to throw in there too is that it's not just your hourly, your salary, your dollar amount, but the money that's deposited in your bank, but what are the other benefits? Do you have Do you have paid time off? Do you have healthcare benefits? Do you get CE credit benefits? Like those other things, those are monetary types of items to be considerate of.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about that before too, because there's so much that goes into pay besides dollar amount. And a big component of retirement, if this office is giving you a 401k, if they're matching it, if they're giving you profit sharing, that's a big factor as well. That's free money into your account. So there's so many factors that weigh into that conversation. And I think if you really enjoy the office, I know for myself, if I have enjoyed where I work and I enjoy the hours that I'm working and I enjoy the people that I work with, I'm okay with a lesser dollar amount because it's somewhere that I know I'm happy and enjoy my time.
Oh, like hands down for sure. You know, Kim, a couple of years ago, I think it was like 2020. It was literally, I remember it was, we were closed down for a while, like for the pandemic, and then started going back in. And at that time I was working for two different offices. One office, I was making $5 more an hour at one office and then $5 less at the other office. But the office that I was making more money at, there was, I would come in, I would say that the instruments were, they're okay. There was one assistant who didn't see a patient until 2 hours after I had, but she was there at the very beginning of the morning, and she would just sit on the computer the entire time. And the sterilization room wasn't set up. Nothing was set up. And she wasn't with a patient, but then I would have back to back to back patients and I would get zero help until the doctor came in. As soon as the doctor came in, then it was like, right. And now this is a whole different ball game topic too, that we could go down on that. But, you know, the sterilization was kind of there was carpeting all over the office. And it wasn't one of those places you could go in where everybody sits around at lunch and gabs and chats and creates a relationship. The other office where I was making $5 less an hour, beautiful, pristine sterilization office, was super clean and tidy, gorgeous instruments. Everybody was helping each other out. And I was like, oh, and it was a lot further away from my house. And I'm like, you know what? It is not worth it to me to make this extra money at this office. I'm sorry. I'm going to need to say part ways. And I would much rather do 2 days a week at that other place where it was less money than do 1 day here and 1 day there. Cause I was like, that is no, thank you.
Yeah. Or to make that extra $5 an hour, you might even walk into an office where they, run you ragged the whole day and you walk out and you're exhausted. You deserve that money and you made that money, but you're also running from the moment you walk in the door to the moment you leave. So it's not.
Yeah, and then you're spending all that money on your massage card.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's not a cut and dry, hey, let's leave because I want $5 more an hour. It's you really got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah. But I would say for her, if she is going in and she's tired of having to go to war over money, then she needs to tell them that. Say, hey, I don't want to have to come to war with you on this every year, every 2 years. Can we have something in writing where there's an annual evaluation that every time the cost for a prophy goes up, that same amount percentage gets added onto my salary, or something, just something along those lines. I think that those conversations need to happen for sure.
Yeah. And having that conversation with the doctor, because again, it's a two-sided story, and the doctor might say, every time I go into your operatory, I have to ask you to take an intraoral photo rather than having it up. So are you fulfilling your end of the deal as well?
Absolutely. Oh, Kim, thank you. I appreciate that. This was a good one. And I hope that our listeners really enjoy it as well.
Yeah. Any last takeaways? Or I think we kind of summed it up.
I think we did, right? It was kind of like one of those, all right, do your homework, check to see what are you producing? What is the value that you're bringing, and make sure always, I would say, leave them going, wow, that was above and beyond what I expected.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. Well, this was fun. I love these kind of conversations.
Me too. All right, everyone. Kim and Tina saying so long, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great one.
thank you to our sponsor, Dental Post, the nation's largest dental job board. Be sure to check them out for different types of employment resources. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And make sure you follow Tina and Kim on all the different social medias to learn other tips and tricks related to dentistry. Until next time, have a great day.